Hey, what's going on, guys? This is me, Wale Forrester, and you guys are tuning in to Forrester Speaks. The nation is going crazy right now, and we got a lot of things going on that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about Charlie Kirk's death. He is the assassinated political speaker. He was shot in front of a large crowd in a very horrific manner. It's been streamed over and over on YouTube, and even what's equally as bad as this man being murdered on camera is the cultural divide that's been going on since then. And I fear that America will never be the same. We're going to react to a couple of videos from both sides, and somewhere in all of this, we need to find Jesus.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Well, breaking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fanta-Fascist's favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop that. People are actually cheering publicly on the internet and making light of Charlie Kirk's death. Wow, that is crazy. A lot of the left's argument is that Charlie was actually a hate monger, and he victimized the weak and the powerless, and he assisted in weaponizing um, like the government, with his close ties with Trump, and also just the voting base, the younger generation, the conservative voting base. He weaponized just a lot of language that was inflammatory and that really just hurt a lot of people's feelings. And also, people saw these ideals turn into policies, right? Like the ICE raids with immigration, his take on abortion, things that gun control, right, and the Second Amendment, school shootings, and he had inflammatory comments about um, it's justifiable, and for lack of better terms, I might be butchering what he's saying. It was justifiable or reasonable for a couple of deaths a year in order for us to protect the Second Amendment, um, and all the other rights that we do have. So, like, he was very insensitive. He spoke truth, his truth to power, and he didn't really care how it came off. So, a lot of his words felt like war. So, I can understand how people who are afraid of this rhetoric, people who have, women who lost a lot of rights that their mothers had. I heard a statement that and I don't know if it's true. I can't verify it, but that have women today have less rights than their grandmother, in regards to abortion rights. But like, yeah, he just was really inflammatory, and it was really pretty much the truth, which was his way versus your way, which was no way, right? So I understand how people can feel like this man was a threat to their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Totally understand that, especially to privileged community, the underrepresented, the minorities. I get it. I totally understand it. But for you to laugh at a man being killed, a man who is a Christian, a father, a husband, a young man, he hasn't even lived enough life. He could have changed his views. Who knows, right? My mom always says, live a little bit of life, live more life, right? Life is long. But for us as a nation to make TikToks and laugh at people's deaths, especially when we felt afraid of their words and of everything that they represented, for us to turn around and laugh at his family's pain, his friends' pain, his supporters' pain, his death, it's not going to age well. It's not. And also, I'm looking at this TikTok. None of y'all on this thing are about that life. I mean, like, You're not about that life, right? Like you're not ready to go to war with anybody. So you probably should watch your mouth. But also I do understand, um, you know, I do understand, I do understand that you might not like them, but that doesn't mean you have the right, or you should even have the goal or the intestinal fortitude to post hate, to respond to hate with hate if what you thought he was doing was hate. Let's look at brother Tate. You guys know about this guy Tate. Some of the things he says are good. I don't agree with everything he says, but some of the things he says are on point. Let's see what he says about Charlie Kirk. Charlie was his friend. So, and they they have a lot of the same political views and they push the same political agenda. Let's see what he says. I kind of scrolled through this video already because I wanted to just curate the conversation. So I went to like his views on the liberal left or the individuals who are celebrating or just are showing a lack of empathy for Charlie Kirk. Here we go.
These people are evil. They're evil. There's no other way to say it. They're evil. They're evil devils. And the devil projects on the good people. Good people like Charlie are doing right. You don't have to talk to him. If you mofos don't think they can spread hate, let him come on campus and talk to himself. Y'all don't have to talk to him. Charlie can't debate himself. You are participating voluntarily in a debate against Charlie. You just can't win because y'all stupid. Like let's stop playing.
Wow. See some of that talk right there? Hey, Tate, I don't know if you built like that either. You can't be talking like that. I mean, people are killing people. People are shooting people in the throat nowadays for what they said. I need both sides to understand that. People are shooting people in their throat nowadays for things that they say, for beliefs that they stand behind. So we have to be very careful with our language. But continue, Tate. Do you think? Continue. My bad. I mean to cut you off.
Let's stop being marked. These people are stupid and they're evil. That's what it is. They're stupid and evil. Marriage between a man and a woman. You're stupid and evil if you don't understand that. It's not up for discussion. It's not a controversy. There's not a bunch of genders. You're evil and stupid. It's that simple. If you don't understand that men shouldn't have a dingling out in the women's locker room, you evil and stupid. We just
Yeah. So once again, people should not be killed for the things that they say, right? Like for your beliefs, you should not die for your beliefs, right? You shouldn't have to die for your opinion. You shouldn't have to die because of conversations. I know Brother Tate says he came from like the inner city or something. I think that's his backstory. Well, for me personally, growing up in Los Angeles, I learned from a very young age you have to watch your mouth, right? Because people will punch you in your mouth. I'm not saying it's right. This is what it is. Where I grew up at, talk about somebody's mother, you crack a joke, you talk a little too slick, you're gonna get punched in your mouth, or you're gonna have to stand on what you believe in. So like a lot of this conversation, if you're trying to prove a point, I don't know that this conversation would get people on your side, right? It's gonna be inflammatory. Some people might be afraid of it. They might be afraid of you. And some people just might be willing to die for what they believe in. They might punch you in your mouth or shoot you in your throat for what you say. So just let's keep that. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying it's the world we live in.
It's no discussing it. It's no talking about it. You're stupid. Nobody. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And Charlie was the nice guy. Charlie would converse with you. Y'all gonna take out the man that's want to be nice to you. Evil and stupid. We shouldn't even be talking about it. Look, you in America, you want to be trans, who cares? But you want to make somebody else agree with your lifestyle, you evil and stupid. It's that simple. It's a Christian nation, founded by Christians. Our laws and principles of success come from Jesus Christ. If you don't realize that, you evil and stupid. I don't care nothing about no other religion. You have the freedom to exercise your religion in America. But if you don't think Christianity is the reason for our success, you're evil and stupid. It's that simple. I don't want to hear nothing about Islam or none of these other religions. You can come over here and practice your stuff, but if you think that's the way, you're stupid.
And I'm gonna cut you off, brother Tate, because that was stupid. And you're not stupid, but that was stupid. I mean, I read the Bible. I don't think that Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, would say that you're operating in the Spirit right now, and that what you just said was rooted in love. So also what you just said ain't gonna age well, brother. Charlie was a nice guy. What you the rough guy? You have to be able to stand on that business because they're shooting people in their throat right now for what they say. I'm not saying that I wish that upon you, but I'm saying that this is where we live. This is the state of the nation. If you want to die on that hill, brother, be my guest. But as for me, I don't think that that's the way, man. I mean, I don't think we're supposed to be calling people stupid and evil. I think we should be bringing this back. I feel like the left and the right are like two siblings who like started arguing and then they started fighting. They went a little too far. Like we got to get back. We family. We got to get this thing back together again because none of you guys are about that life. All right. The one person that was about that life just shot Charlie Kirk in his neck for something that he said, for the values and beliefs that he was sharing. I want to share one more video. Another leftist guy.
As I speak, there is a concerted effort to turn him into a martyr, to weaponize his death as a justification for right-wing retaliatory violence, without the public really being truly aware of who this man actually was and the horrific things that he stood for. Charlie Kirk's death isn't a tragedy because we lost one of the good ones. It's a tragedy because of what it represents for American democracy and the dark times that are to come. Because Charlie Kirk was one of the worst stains on the reputation of my country. I don't say this to be tactless.
And once again, once again, they're shooting people in their throat for things that they say. Now, you're on the whole other side of Brother Tate. This man just died. People love him. People rally for him. People follow him. He has a family. He has kids, a wife. I mean, he's beloved. Some people are calling him a martyr, a hero. And you saying like, yo, I'm not going to honor this brother. Like, he's a stain on our democracy. Like, if you have nothing good to say, you just don't have to say anything at all. Right? So this is a little far right here, but I completely understand why you feel like this, but I don't really know how this is gonna age. This is not gonna age well. This is not gonna age well. I think you're mad, brother. Your eyes is all wide. You're leaning. You know what I mean? Look at you. Look at this thumbnail right here. You're just looking real intense, bro. Like,
I don't say this to be tactless. This is a man who called Martin Luther King awful.
See, I didn't know he called Martin Luther King awful. I gotta check it out. But I mean, I gotta see if that was in context, in proper context or not. Let's see.
Not a good person, stating that the passage of the Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake.
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true.
I guess it's true. Okay, you did say this brother. Wow, bro. I mean, okay, you were standing on business. All right, okay.
And Kirk's self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true.
And the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon.
He sowed division wherever he went. He promoted conspiracy theory garbage like the Great Replacement Theory, which states that rather than white people being able to live in harmony with other races, minorities are plotting to replace us. He promoted 2020 election fraud conspiracies so effectively that despite them being repeatedly proven false in court by Trump's own appointed justices, millions of Americans still believe them to this day. During the pandemic, even as Trump's own administration was pumping billions of dollars into Operation Warp Speed, attempting to rapidly create and test a vaccine, rather than taking this emergency as an opportunity to help unite America, he turned on doctors and spread pseudoscientific misinformation and anti-vax conspiracy theories, calling vaccine mandates medical apartheid. He nonchalantly stated that gun deaths are an unfortunate but acceptable cost of preserving the Second Amendment. And as LGBT kids across America struggled to come to terms with their identity and faced bullying and religious discrimination, leading to the highest rates of suicide of any demographic, He fomented hatred towards trans people, further stigmatizing an already trampled on and vulnerable
Charlie, I'm trying to understand. Woo! I mean, that was gripping. I mean, that don't mean you should get killed for it, but I definitely understand why people didn't like you. Conversely, I definitely understand why people did like you. I'm a Christian myself. I'm conservative in a lot of ways, but the love of Jesus makes me. I'm a conservative in how I live, but the love of Jesus allows me to love liberals and to love everybody and to love everything. So I'm liberal with love, I guess. I don't know. I don't judge. I just observe, and I don't condemn. Even what I don't condone, I don't condemn, because that's not what Jesus did. He didn't preach a message of judgment, because it's not time yet to be judged. He preached a message of redemption, right? He came and he wanted to redeem us, right? He came and he corrected us, but gave us hope, right? A message of hope and not condemnation. So if that makes me a liberal, I guess. But I definitely lean more towards conservative values. But I'm not all the way over there. I'm not to where it gets to overzealousness.
You're in a war. The left has been saying put a bullseye on Trump, a bullseye on his supporters. Charlie Kirk's a casualty of war. We're in this country. We are.
They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. What are we going to do about it?
So that's not going to age well either. Who is at war with you? An army didn't kill Charlie, right? It was a lone gunman, allegedly. As of today, I'm hearing it was a lone gunman, right? They got him in custody. But also, I want to talk about something. So the left feels like, if you're looking in the media, the left is really preaching that this gunman that was found, that was caught, he grew up in a MAGA, ultra conservative household where they were shooting guns and they were pro guns, just like super, just typical MAGA right wing conservative. And they're saying like, yo, you kind of like developed a monster, and you reap what you sow. Someone who just felt entitled and ultimately was so radicalized that they handled a situation where they couldn't articulate themselves. They handled it with violence. Basically, how you raise this brother is why he ended up killing Charlie. You know what I mean? But then the right is like, yo, this dude was raised in a good household with two parents, Christian household, conservative values. Then he went off to college, or he went somewhere and he got radicalized. Like, all of this leftist propaganda radicalized him. No one's really placing blame on the kid, which is crazy to me, right? That's a whole nother thing, and a whole nother thing we got to talk about when I do a reaction video to who the shooter was. So that is wild. But man, ultimately, man, it's a crazy time in America. And I don't know. I would be remiss if we didn't kind of go to the scriptures on this, because that's what the left said. That's what the right says. Let's see what Jesus would say. Let's look at this through the lens of Jesus, right? It says in Titus 3 verse 2, it says, slander no one. It says to be peaceable and considerate, and always to be gentle towards everyone. This is his commandment to like Christians, right? Like we're not supposed to slander anyone. We're supposed to be peaceable and considerate, and to always be gentle towards everyone. So, I mean, Brother Tate, I'm not judging you. I'm just making an observation. You can't be calling people evil. That's not peaceable, right? Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. When you're having these debates and you're talking to people who are afraid, right? Instead of giving them hope, instead of correcting them but showing them a better way, and and surrounding them with love and being gentle and kind, even when you disagree. You egged on, you quarreled, you weren't peaceable, you spoke with a lot of energy. It kind of felt like they were at war. And God calls us to be something different. If we're gonna spread the love of Jesus, we have to love like Jesus. Like the love of Jesus has to be unconditional. In Corinthians, it tells you what love is. It's patient, it's kind, it's long suffering. You know what I mean? It keeps no record of wrongdoings. So if you really want to preach the gospel, it can't be a conservative value. It has to be the love of Jesus. And you have to speak of Jesus or speak about Jesus um, um, with the Spirit inside of you, right? The Holy Spirit. Because if you have the Holy Spirit inside of you, you can't talk like that, especially in regards to Jesus and the love of Christ. But also to the left, let me tell you something. Pray for your enemies and role model the behavior that you want to see from the right. The way you acting, that's not of God either, right? Charlie Kirk's death should be a great time for us all to reset. We should all learn that we went too far with this rhetoric. We lost a life. We lost somebody who still had an opportunity to redeem himself, right? Who had an opportunity to be 100% right with Christ. And I don't know where he's going. I don't know if he's going to heaven or hell. I'm not Jesus. I just love everybody. Even when I don't like everybody, I love everybody. I love all of God's children. So we can't necessarily laugh and be happy about that. Don't lose your salvation for your political beliefs. Don't lose your salvation for your political beliefs. Trust me. So that was crazy. The nation's divided. Let's just pray for this nation. If you're a Christian on any side, pray for the other side and pray for your side. Share the love of Jesus. Jesus is real. He doesn't condone any of this hate speech, fear mongering. Nobody's out to get nobody. It's just time for all of us to come together. And I said what I said. Forrester Speaks. So go ahead and like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Church.